Well, hello and welcome back. It is time once again to try to fix something. And today on the workbench, we're taking a look at another dead PS5 because they are everywhere. I think I've got this one plugged in. I believe this is, no, I don't have it plugged in. Let's do that and we'll just see how dead it is. Alrighty, if I can hold it. Alrighty, how dead are you? Eject does nothing. Power does nothing. That's rather dead. Okay, so an actual dead one. Let's get the side plate off and let's just see if it's been worked on before. Alright, the side plate is off and I'm going to say yes, it has been worked on before. And this looks to be a 1215. Okay, dead supply, shorted capacitor, both. Let's get on into it. Well, our side cover is off here, and I think I'm down to where I can check some power supplies. I'm still plugged in. What do we have right here? We're on AC. It's not going to work. DC. Well, it still doesn't work. Nothing. And nothing. Well, do we have a short? No. Yeah, we do have a short there. We do have a short there. So is that the 5 or the 12? I never can remember which one's on top, which one's on bottom. But it does look like we have a short though. Okay. Alrighty, let's see if we can get in there and find our short. Well, we are down to the PCB, and it does look like, let me just show you. Here's our 12-volt rail coming in. A rather dead short, right on our 12-volt rail. So, yeah, that's where we are. Let me get this board out, we'll get it inside and see if we can find it. Alright. We are inside at the workbench, ready to see if we can find this short. Waiting on some Joey Does Tech to start. He's running late. Tis tis. Anyway, we'll get to this. We have a short on our 12-volt rail. Which, I mean, could be many places. A common one is for these DRMOS ICs to short, and unfortunately when they short through, it seems like, usually to not to ground, they short through to the APU, but maybe that's not the case this time. Let me just null these out. How low are we? We're not shorted now. So the power supply is shorted. Yeah, there's no short. Here's ground. And there's the 12-volt input. So our short apparently is on the output of that power supply. Interesting. Let me go get that power supply out of the chassis out there. I assumed the problem was here, and I was wrong. Alright, I have retrieved the power supply from the chassis. And let's take a quick check to see if we have a short on these output terminals. And it would appear that we do. Okay. I'm beginning to get concerned that I may have been sold a pile of junk. To get this out, you have to lift the heatsink up. You have to take 2 screws out from the back side, those 2 fine thread ones. Anyway, I went to remove those to get the supply out, and they were already gone, which tells me that somebody had already been into this and removed this power supply. So what I'm worried now is that somebody has combined a dead power supply and a dead motherboard and sold it to some poor soul sucker on eBay, like me. So, before we go any further, let me go back out to the garage. I have a spare ADP 400FR. We'll just slide it in the chassis and put that board in. Let's just see if we have both a dead board and a dead power supply. It has happened before. Let's go try that. Well, my known good power supply is installed. She's put together enough. The APU clamp is on. We have power? No. There's no drive installed. So that's why the eject didn't beep. But the power button does beep. But we get no lights. So yeah. Yep. We have a dead main board and a dead power supply. Somebody. Okay. Well, it is what it is. We'll get the board back out and take it inside. See if we can fix this and the power supply. Alright, back inside at the workbench. And I was trying to decide whether to look at the dead power supply or the dead motherboard. And I decided to made the executive decision to go with the motherboard. So, how much current does it draw? Just kind of curious. Polarity is correct. 225 and hangs and comes back down. 225. 225. Does that sound familiar? I can't remember. Cannot remember. Maybe we'll do some quick checks here with the meter. Let me get this other camera set up. Okay. And we will take a look. Time to wake up, multimeter. Although it is 8 o'clock in the morning. All right. So we know we're getting 5 volts. Are we missing? I haven't really looked around this board yet to see if there's been any work on it. I don't see any flux on this side. Did not look real close at the other side. I want to give it 12 volts and just confirm our 5 volts, which I'm sure is there. And there's our 5 volts. And here is our power supply for the south bridge and various other items. Oh. Alright, it's on. 3.3 is there. 1.15 is there. What about our SSD? It is getting 5 volts, so our fuse is good. F7502 is good. I'll have to flip it over to check the rails for that. Where is the Wi-Fi module on this? Oh, it's right here. See if I can check the rails or rail. This is the AW546, or I can't read the number, rather small, which I think only gets one supply. Oops, I turned it off. Yeah, 3.3. So the Wi-Fi Bluetooth module has its supply. What about, no, let's turn it over. See if we can get to the SSD controller supply without knocking our wires loose. Right in here. Now they're only going to be there when the PS5 is fully on or when it's initializing. So I'm going to have to turn the power on and off the 12 volts. I'll turn off the 12 volts. They're only there for a short amount of time. Let's get on this test point right here. Yep, 8/10. I think this one over here is 2.5. Is that right? Nope, 1.2. And this is what is this? Another 1.2. Yep. And so this must be the 2.5 right here. Yes. And they are all there and coming up. So what else? Our south bridge seems to be working. I mean, it'll beep. I'm going to check some rails going into this south bridge. 3.3. What is this? 1.14. And that one's only there for a short amount of time when it's initializing the 1.15. There it comes. And it'll go away. So that all looks normal. Do we have a short? Power is off. Let's see if we have any shorts on the back of this APU. I think that's normal, that 1 ohm. There's a couple of rails here. That looks fine. This is like a 1.8 and like a 0.75. Nah, they're fine. So maybe our APU is good. I can see flux right here. Someone has been reading the error codes. They sure did. I wonder what it said, because they didn't reveal that in the eBay listing. And this is the rail for our memory. 250 ohms. I'm gonna guess that's micron RAM. It is micron RAM. Micron RAM reads, the supply rail will read like 200 ohms, where Samsung will read like 15 or 20 or something. So it's hard to compare, you know, other people's readings sometimes, like on the memory rail. If you don't know what RAM they have, if they don't have the same RAM as you, you won't get the same reading. They're just different. Okay, let me look around this board and possibly read the codes ourselves and see what it says. Well, I did go ahead and connect the code reader to this board, and it does look like we have an SSD problem. Possibly the controller. Hopefully the controller. I do have some on hand. May have to reball one though. But yeah, it's hanging because it's trying to load its software from the SSD, and it can't, and then it just kind of gives up. So yeah, that's where we are. All right, let me get an SSD controller, which is right there on the other side of the board. Get one of those reballed and ready. If I don't have one already, we'll get it swapped out. See if that changes our error. Yeah, it probably will. Well, our SSD controller has been replaced, and I think the board has cooled down just enough for it to test this. Let's see what our initialization looks like now, shall we? Need this left channel over here. There we go, 300 milliamps, and come back down. Now that looks that looked normal. That looked normal. All right, so we did have a bad SSD controller. And I looked at the pads. None of these pads really looked oxidized or anything, so I think I'm just going to chunk this one. Sometimes I hang on to them if I'm not, you know, totally sure that they're bad. But I think this one's just bad. I think. So all right, let's I'll do a little cleanup. I didn't use a whole lot of flux. I'll clean up a little bit of flux around there. We'll get it back out in the chassis and see if it will now boot up. All right, here we are back out in the garage. I've got everything hooked up, I think, so we can test this. Even the fan, ribbon cable for the LEDs, the power button. Eject won't work because there's no Blu-ray drive attached. It's laying over there. Will she turn on? All right. Blue light, fan spin, all good things. We're going to get a lock on that monitor. Maybe a little storage check. Maybe. There we go. Excellent, excellent. I think she's going to come back to life. Okay, so we've got that part done. We got the board fixed, but let's don't forget we still have a bad power supply to fix. This is my spare power supply in there, and I want it back. So let me go. We'll go back inside together. Let's see if we can fix that original supply that was in here, which appears to have a short on its output terminals. There we are. And I've seen that before on those power supplies, so I think I know what it is, and I think I have the parts. Let's go find out. All right, so back to our power supply. Yeah, I think we have a short. I think we checked a short on our output terminals right here, and we had a pretty dead short of it, best I can remember. There's an SSD controller in the garbage. Don't trust it. Let's just confirm. Yeah, 0.05 ohms on those output terminals. That's a slight short. So let's get this open. And let me go ahead and get this antenna off of here before I break it. There we go. I have quite a few supplies out there in a box in the garage. Not so many antennas though, so I don't want to damage that. And of course I do have to mention, please do not open up your power supplies because there are dangerous voltages inside, etc., etc. Please don't do what I do. And now you get to suffer through. Oh, look at this. This has been pried open. Yeah. Yep. Marks all down through there. So this has been opened up before. Interesting. Interesting. I need to go back and look at that eBay listing to see if they mentioned that they had previously worked on both these components. Did not fix them, and then threw them together into a chassis. Well, anyway, it is what it is. And it happens every day. And we are in. No giant scorch marks anywhere. No roaches. That's always a good thing. Get this out carefully because I have plugged it in recently. And several of these capacitors could still be charged. Probably are. No scorch marks in there. Looks very clean. I mentioned that I had seen this before and I thought I knew what it was. Most likely, it's going to be these MOSFETs right here. These two MOSFETs. I think, yeah, that's got to be the ones. They're just power MOSFETs, but they're used as rectifiers in this design. And there'll be an IC back here. I guess it's this one on this model that basically drives and triggers those things at the appropriate time to provide rectification. So let's just go to continuity. Let's just see right in there if we get on these transistors. Kind of shorted. Oh, just one of them? Nah. Probably both. In the past, when I've had these fail, it got both of them. And I think I ordered some. I think I did. I think they're in a drawer on the top of my workbench up here. Way up there. You can't see it. Okay. Let's see if we can get these removed. There they are. So there. Oh, you know what I should do before I start handling this very much? Let's go ahead and discharge some capacitors. Discharge them into this load before they discharge into my fingers. Yeah, right here. Yep, had a little bit of voltage there, didn't we? Yeah, there's two of them, but I mean they're in parallel, so really no reason to hit the other one. All right. Now, where was I? I do have a solder sucker that I could use. Maybe I tend not to use it. Maybe I should. I always forget to unplug it. It is an old Hako with no light on it. There's no indication that this thing's plugged in and just cooking a tip away. None whatsoever. And I'll just forget it and leave it on. So you can remind me. Nope. Hope I did not leave the tip clogged up on this thing. Nope, I did not leave it clogged up. It just takes a little bit of heat to loosen this joint. But it does a pretty good job. Comes in handy. I don't work with a lot of through-hole components anymore. No one does, I suppose. No, not on anything modern, anyway. That worked quite well. quite well. All right. Back in the holder. Unplugged. Unplugged, so I can't forget it. Screwdriver. If we're lucky, this is all that was damaged. It has been in the past. Look at there. I think these are both the same. I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to lay them just the way they came out there. I can read this part. 6NA3R4L, which they probably use several parts. Yeah, this is the same. So let's just confirm. Well, I have them out here, that our short is gone, and that it is indeed these transistors. Yeah, now we just have capacitors charging up. That one's shorted between two of the terminals. This one is as well. This one's shorted between all the terminals. And this one, though, is just, these two are not, but these two are. Okay. So, I think that fixed it, our issue, or got rid of our short. Now, where do I have those transistors? Because I think the ones I ordered may not be the exact part number because they use different parts. And I may have ordered whatever part I found in the previous supply. And now I have to find it. All right, let me hunt for these parts. Well, after much searching, I think I finally came up with my parts that I was in need of. These are being used as synchronous rectifiers in the output stage. If you can see that part number there. Pretty sure this is what I used. There's two missing. Let's see if we can get these installed. And maybe that's all of our power supply problem. If we're very lucky. I lost that, wherever it went. Well, our synchronous rectifier MOSFETs have been replaced, and I think we are ready to check this, see if this is all of us wrong. I didn't find anything else shorted, so hopefully this will work. I'm connected to my load, except for 10 amps. It is turned on. Let me bring up the AC voltage kind of slowly. See what happens, shall we? And we are running. There's 120 volts AC in. We're making 11.9 or so at 10 amps. This is monitoring the voltage across our filter caps here. So after the power factor corrector has done its magic, 395, 396, looks good. I think we're in good shape. Okay. Let's get this, let me get this put back together. We'll put it out there in the chassis and we'll test the whole thing together. How's that sound? Well, this PS5 is fully reassembled with our repaired power supply and our repaired main board. And she's running a game. I've got another one installing off the DVD, off the Blu-ray I should say. And it seems to be working perfectly fine. But so once again, I think we have defeated the evil forces of eBay, who have sent us a package of garbage. But it's working, and it's all right. So I guess we'll just have to get by with it. Well, hope you liked that one. So it was somewhat interesting, educational, and entertaining. Any of the above. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in that very next repair. Bye for now.